call of the Hogs can be heard all the way to San Francisco.
You're listening to Pod at the Palace with Curtis Wilkerson on Inside Arkansas.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday, and welcome back to the Pod at the Palace. I'm your host, Curtis Wilkerson with Inside Arkansas, recording here on a late Wednesday evening after getting back from our live show out at the Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas at the Hot Springs Marina. Man, did you guys get to check out Inside Arkansas Live? That was sick. That was awesome. We had a blast out there. Super hospitable, awesome vibes, great setup. Everything about it was really, really cool. I want to go back. I wish we were doing the show there tomorrow, even though as we were wrapping up, the wind was blowing like crazy. I was having to talk about Razorback football and hold the tent so it didn't fly into the water. It started thundering right there at the end. You know, like we're got a bunch of high tech gear and everything. And, we didn't want to be right by the water and get stormed on. So we kind of had to rush out of there. But, man, it was awesome. Really, really cool spot. I always do really appreciate it when sponsors have us out to do a show. Some places it makes sense. Some places it doesn't, right? I get that. But, it's one thing to do an ad read and, just be able to use our platform to help promote businesses who put their trust in us, which is what it's all about. That's awesome. We really appreciate anybody who values us enough to be able to do that. It does hit a little bit different, though, when you get the firsthand experience and you can give a true testimonial. And now I can do that with Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas. Was really, really cool. Like if you're itching for the boat life, right? And, maybe it's a situation where you don't have one of your own or it's not feasible or whatever. Check them out, folks. It's right there in front of you. freedomboatclubar.com. Scan the QR code in the top right-hand corner of your screen. See what it's all about. Greer's Ferry, Lake Hamilton, the Arkansas River. They got some more spots coming up there soon. It takes the hassle out of the boat issue. You just get to have the fun. They deal with everything else for you. A really cool spot. Make sure you check them out. Hey, let's talk about some hoops, shall we? Because we had a little bit of news, some tangible stuff. Honestly, back to the old recruiting trail today, because there was a notable, I would say quite notable development Wednesday afternoon when John Calipari and the Razorbacks extended another offer in the 2026 class to Chase Foster. New name. Hey, we'll get to know the player here, and then we'll talk about what this means big picture for the Razorbacks as they, try to zero in on their 2026 class here. Foster's a new name on the Arkansas radar, to us anyway, but he's certainly not an unknown on the recruiting scene. That much I can tell you for sure. 6'9", 210-pound forward, and a true forward. You see so many of these guys, and it's like, 6'9", 210. Really, it's just a tall guard who's out there, trying to be a perimeter-oriented player and everything. And he's got some of this to his game, but he is a four-man by trade. A four-star prospect, top 40 player in his class. He's the number 6 power forward, according to the 24/7 sports rankings. And we know that they're the ones who know what the hell they're doing when it comes to ranking these guys. So I think a really, really intriguing type of player, to be honest with you. He's good, man. It's kind of refreshing to see the way that he plays the game at times. Played for Team Mello on the EYBL over the course of this summer. And frankly, he balled out. He really impressed me. Averaged 18.8 points, 8.2 rebounds, 1.3 blocks, and over a steal per game. At that size, that's pretty impressive. Shot 49% from the floor, was 72% from the free throw line. Now, he shot over 80% during Peach Jam. And then, 23.5% from three, which, okay, like that's not going to knock your socks off. But at his size, with the way that he plays and the other, the traits that he brings to the game, with that grown man type of frame that he has, like I would say that he's got something to work with from three. You'll see the percentage. You'll think I'm crazy. He made 16 threes in 20 games this summer, and we'll show some highlights in a minute, and you'll see it. There's potential there with the jumper. I think he actually gets a little bit guilty of hovering out there at times on the perimeter. So that's probably part of his development, but there's something there to work with in that jumper for sure. He was awesome at Peach Jam, by the way. Here are his quick lines. 6 games that he played in that week at Peach Jam. And here's his stat lines. 17 points, 15 rebounds. 22 points, 8 rebounds. 18 points, 8 rebounds. 18 points, 10 rebounds. 21 points, 3 rebounds. 17 points, 6 rebounds. Does that work for you? It works for me. He played against Brad Beal Elite and JJ Andrews. It was the last game that weekend, the live period before Peach Jam started. And he went for 22 points and 7 boards against them. In the 3 games before that, on the very same weekend, he had 4 blocks, and 5 block shots in those games. So just a highly productive forward in a class that it's light on front court talent. We've talked about that quite a bit with this 2026 group. You know, he's not a perfect player. He's a little erratic at times. He needs to be more consistent. But we're talking about a guy who's got legit upside and a super, super high ceiling here. And from everything I've seen and watching film on him and getting prepared for this show tonight, I'm pretty impressed. I see the vision. I like it. I'm more than intrigued. I'm interested. The length is there. The frame is there. He's a big, strong kid, but he's got room to really add on to that. He's athletic. He can run the floor. And when he's at his best, he reminds me a lot of a John Calipari forward. Like the type of guys that you would see him get at Kentucky in his prime there. Those guys who just look the part. You know, the great athletes, they're lob threats, they're, you know, pick and roll finishers. They run like a deer in transition. And usually they're still kind of learning and honing in on that skill set. And they're the type of guys who get better and better and better throughout the course of the season. And before you know it, they're a one and done, and they're off playing in the NBA. That's kind of what he reminds me of. So we'll throw up a couple minutes of film here in a couple minutes. But first, I have to tell you about our new partners. That's right, folks. It's Walter Christmas Lighting of Arkansas. Yes, that's right. We're getting closer to the holiday season with Halloween being just around the corner this fall. And if you think it's too early, go to Target. See the pumpkin spice all over the place. Peep the Halloween candy aisles and then get back to me. It's about that time. They're pushing the back to school stuff out. They're pushing the Halloween stuff in. Many of you love getting into the holiday spirit. We all do. We all fancy it, but sometimes you just don't have the time or the resources to light up your house and wow the entire neighborhood. I am guilty of this, and that just can't continue to be a thing with the little fella coming onto this planet soon. So luckily for you and for me, Walter Christmas Lighting has you covered this fall and winter. If you're in Northwest Arkansas or the River Valley, have Walter Christmas Lighting install and set up your house with professional Halloween and Christmas lighting like you've never seen before. All the materials are provided, any color, any pattern. They install the lights, free maintenance throughout the holiday season with the takedowns happening in January. If you sign up for Halloween lights, you will also get your Christmas lights for 50% off. How's that for a deal? They take care of you on the 2 most important holidays to have your yard and your house looking the part. So you can also, I'll tell you what, here's what you need to do. Text our guy Brent for a free estimate. He'll get it for you. That's 479-459-1380, 479-459-1380. Or you can also check out their website at walterchristmaslighting.com, or like them on Facebook by scanning the QR code in your screen. I will go ahead and tell you right now that you can drive by my house too in October and December, because I will absolutely be having them come out and hook me up. It's Walter Christmas Lighting of Arkansas, your local holiday lighting experts. I'm pumped about this. Love me some lights, man. Getting in the spirit. Trick or treat, baby. Come on over. Okay, now we'll save the real deep dive film study, chalk talk film room stuff for when Foster gets a visit scheduled to Arkansas. And I do anticipate that that's going to be on the books. We'll wait until it happens and we have the official date, and then we'll do that. Now, I would say keep an eye out on that for, does it get set before or after the Arafanjian visit in September? Because that could potentially be something that's telling. But let's pull up a highlight clip here to just kind of illustrate what Foster brings to the table, where you're going to see his physicality. You're going to see his above the rim play. You're going to see a promising 3 ball. You're going to see the ability to rip and drive it from the perimeter and get to the cup. The first comp, and you guys know I don't like doing these, but the first comp that comes to my mind from this particular clip, now he's more physical than this guy was in high school, no doubt about it. But when you watch Chase Foster offensively, you will see some Trevin Brazil in the way that he drives it, the way that he shoots it. They're not necessarily similar players overall, but there are some tendencies, especially on that end of the floor, that they share. So let me pull it up here. Let's play it. Let's talk about it. And voila, there we go. Well, there's a dunk right away. He does a lot of that, and you can just see he's hanging on the rim right there. But That 6'9" is a legit measurement. He's got a plus wingspan, and he's bouncy, and especially for a guy, and you'll see some physicality there too. You like that. A lot of times you see these high school prospects, these forwards, and you get one or the other. Like you get the athleticism and the pop, the explosion, the twitch, or you get the big, strong physical specimen who can't move. And he gives you a pretty good combination of both for a guy that's just going into his senior year of high school. There he is eyeing up a defender. You see what I mean? Look at that. That is a Trevin Brazil type of drive where he just kind of eyes him up, gets him on his hip, ducks his shoulder, and he's, not making a bunch of moves, not spinning, not crossing you over. It's just downhill, getting to the basket. That looked like a TB type of drive to me. And then, of course, he's finishing above the rim there. Again, he loves that middle drive, finishing with the right hand. Looks good. There's that first three ball. I mean, listen, and we'll see some more of those, but not a bad looking shot there. A little bit of stuff there. I wouldn't call it a hitch, but not the most smooth and fluid release in the world, but it is repeatable. It's got a little bit of rotation on there. This is a part of his game that I think could be an asset for him. Now, what'd you see there? He loves to drive at middle, even if he's going left, but what'd he do? He finished with his right hand when he went left. I mean, it's like, obviously you talk about development and some things he's got to work on, not a finished product. But hey, he still finished that shot right there. And if he adds that left hand into the repertoire consistently, then you're really on to something. There's a left drive and a right-handed finish. Okay. There's another middle drive going left and a right-handed finish. Are you picking up the theme there? So he's got to work on that left a little bit. He can drive it that way, but let's see you start finishing that way a little bit more. Drive left, right, finish. Talented player, though. Tough little shot at the to beat the buzzer. Dunk on a guy's head. Okay, no big deal. There's a nice drop off. He can pass it too. I think it was in Peach Jam. He averaged about 2 assists per game. Good passer at that position, and you need that. Think about what made a guy like, and he's going to be able to shoot it better than a Jalen Graham, but something that made Jalen Graham work in a 2-forward system with spacing and everything like that was his ability to pass the ball, his ability to put it on the deck. You don't have to be a guy that stretches the floor and knocks it down for 3. He just happens to be one that can do it, but he brings some of those other traits to the table as well. Leading the break in transition. You love to see it. There's another assist. He likes dropping off to that kid. There's a top of the key 3. Boom. Looks good. He's fun in transition. I mean, here we go again with this point forward thing where you got a 6'9" plus guy leading the break. A lot of times those guys are the rim runners or they're filling the lanes and they're looking to get the drop off so they can dunk it. No, he's just getting the rebound, turning up the floor and going. Offensive rebound and finish there. Tough, strong kid, finishing through some contact. He'll get physical with you. Offensive rebounds. Put back your own miss. The me bounds. He's got that Angel Reese in him. Good stuff. I like him. I think he's a good player. I think he's a talent there. And, when you think about Arkansas and what that front court is potentially going to look like next year, they're going to be making multiple additions there. So I think you need to have multiple options in terms of the 2026 class there. So I like it. We will wrap things up here, kind of where things stand in, Foster's recruitment, where he fits in the pecking order with Arkansas, what all that looks like. But first, I want to talk to you guys about a little bit of a good cause that we're trying to support here, folks. On August 25th, grab your golf clubs for a day on the course, a day on the greens. It's for a good cause. Every drive, putt, and high five helps support Ronald McDonald House Charities of Arkansas and North Louisiana, providing comfort and care to families with ill or injured children. This is more than just a golf tournament. It's a chance to make a real difference. This year, they're playing in Little Rock at Pleasant Valley Country Club and Rogers at Pinnacle Country Club. So pick your location and sign up now because these spots are filling up fast. It's presented by Tyson Foods, McDonald's, and Newlyweds Foods. Breakfast and lunch are served at the event. Sign up today. It's rmhcarkansas.org/events today. One more time. That's rmhcarkansas.org/events today. Proceeds from this tournament in Rogers support the Ronald McDonald House and Ronald McDonald Family Room in Northwest Arkansas. You can also scan that QR code right there in front of you to get a little bit more information. Okay, let's see here. By the way, as we shift gears to wrap up the show on wrapping our head around this late offer to Chase Foster here in the 2026 class, what it means, why it happened. There's one clip that I should show you guys real quick. Let me pull it up. Okay. What was that? What's going on right there? Let's play it one more time. No, little pass. Guy beats a buzzer with the 3. All right. Well, Curtis, why are you showing that? Well, I'll tell you why. Because what that was current Razorback freshman Darius Acuff throwing a skip pass to Chase Foster for a corner 3 to beat the halftime buzzer while both of them were teammates on IMG Academy last season. There's your first connection between Chase Foster and the Arkansas Razorbacks. IMG Academy, by the way, is where another recent Razorback offer and scheduled visitor, Cole Clower, has transferred and will be playing this upcoming season. There's your second connection. So if you're wondering, if Arkansas is potentially a real player in the game here, first of all, John Calipari is a Hall of Famer and a recruiting legend who just offered this kid. So that matters. That carries weight. When Cal extends an offer, it means something. He's not doing the Mark Pope thing where everybody gets an offer, everybody gets a visit. No, if he offers you and he's trying to bring you on campus, he's serious about you. Okay. So there's that part of it. He just so happens to be a guy who, he played with your star incoming freshman last season, right? So you love to see that in Darius Acuff. And this is a guy who is teammates with another kid that you're making a push for in the 2026 class. There are dots to be connected there. Well, why now for Arkansas? Why are they just being connected? Well, we just listed a couple of reasons there for starters. Chase Foster was also one of the players that Cal was monitoring at Peach Jam, who was, he said, hey, he was on the broadcast with Fanta. And he was like, there's some guys here I've watched this week who are better than I thought they were. Guys who weren't on my radar, but I know who they are now. Remember when I read off those stat lines from those 6 games at Peach Jam out there in North Augusta? Yeah, Chase Foster was one of those guys. So, listen, he fits the mold, like we said, of the types of forwards that Calipari has targeted, guys who have all the physical traits and athletic ability in the world. They're putting it together skill-wise, and he's had success with them in the past. And again, like if you're getting a front court piece, or let me put it this way. If getting a front court piece in the high school class is a priority, when you know for sure because of eligibility, you're losing Trevin Brazile and you're losing Nick Pringle, and you've got a guy, Malik Ewan, who you anticipate is going to be really, really good for you. Is he going to be a potential draft candidate? You have no idea what that front court's going to look like. You have to make some additions. You probably would like to have a contingency plan in place for Arafanjian in the event that Houston is too much to overcome there. And yeah, Cal likes to go get his big men out of the portal and everything like that, but he's also made a concerted effort to get more depth there in the front court. You'll see what you have in Elmer Zaffich. You'll see what you have in Paolo Samito. But if you can get a young, high upside guy and then, pair that with some veteran experienced production, and that's when you're really on to something. So I do think that it makes sense there. Competition-wise for Chase Foster, like how's his recruitment shaping up? It's hilarious to me that roughly 90 seconds after he posted his Arkansas offer on socials, he posted a USC offer as well. What the heck is that all about, Muss? What are you doing, man? Follow the leader here? I texted one of the staffers over there and told them that this is like Mark Popish behavior and you need to chill out. It's typically them that right after Cal offers somebody, they magically get into the mix as well. Well, USC's trying to do that over now. That's crazy. Actually, it's just because he's a good player, right? So there's going to be competition there for him. And, Arkansas USC offered on Wednesday. He's also picked up offers from Oklahoma, Texas A&M, Vanderbilt, I think are the 3 out of the SEC just since Peach Jam wrapped up. Schools like Maryland and Villanova have been on him for a while and been after him. I think he's got double-digit offers at this point. He's good. He should. He has a visit set to Oklahoma State August 28th, and I think he has a scheduled visit to Oklahoma. I believe it's on October 4th. So the two Oklahoma schools there. Now, how do we look at this? To me, like some of these schools may be in a position to offer Foster, more immediate playing time or more of a featured role early. But if Arkansas chooses to make Foster a real priority here, between John Calipari's NBA track record and pedigree, do I need to give the list of forwards that he has in the NBA right now? I don't think I do. You know him at this point. Between the NIL opportunities that are present at Arkansas, comparatively speaking, to some of the schools that we just listed there, just being honest. And then the friend of a friend aspect with Darius Acuff. This is one that I believe Arkansas could be in position to snag if they go all in. Little early to determine right away. Is he at the top of the priority list? Is he a contingency plan for Arafan? We'll see how that plays out over the next couple days here as we continue to gather more intel. But off the top, just big picture, what I'm thinking about between his recruitment and what Arkansas is looking for, that's kind of where I'm at. So be on the lookout for, what the ramp up looks like here and how quickly a visit materializes with Chase Foster. And it's just another name to add to the board. We probably need to do an update of the board. Maybe we'll do that for a segment tomorrow because all of a sudden you got Chase Foster here in the mix. Very, very interesting. A lot of dots to be connected there. Eyes are peeled for Baba Aladaton, who we've talked about, the 2027 number 1 overall player. He reclassifies in 2026. Cal had been recruiting him heavily. He'd been front and center for him at Peach Jam. And when you become available a year early, that pursuit only ramps up higher and higher. So we got our eyes out for a visit date coming soon with him. That's a good one. Like we said, he's the number 1 overall prospect in 2027. He reclassifies and immediately is a 5-star top 10 prospect in this class. You got to be pretty talented to do that. So you're looking at that. You're looking at, Big Arafan coming in mid-September, Jordan Smith Jr. the week after, Tay Kinney, who, Arkansas is very much in the mix for him, way more so than I initially believed. And we talked about that a couple days ago, but they're a player in that game. I still think Louisville's in the lead, but hey, man, you get them on campus for a visit and then all bets are off, but they're definitely more in the mix than I anticipate them to be. Cole Kloer visiting, Abdou Toure. Cole Kloer, hell, maybe should Chase Foster just visit with Cole? They're teammates. They will have gotten to know each other. They'll be practicing together and everything like that. Just come together. Come together and commit on the spot. I would take both of those guys in a heartbeat. But maybe I'm a little bit over anxious. John Calipari didn't get to where he's at by being, a little bit too anxious. He's patient. He's pragmatic. He's calculated. He gets what he wants. That's what he wants. Go ahead and do it. Be cool with me if they visit at the same time. And then we'll see what happens with, other guy, Brandon McCoy, whoever else right there. But the options are wide open. You feel good because you've already got JJ Andrews committed, locked down, signed, sealed, delivered. Well, not quite signed yet, but he will be as soon as the early period opens up for him to do that. And he's actively helping recruit. And that's another thing to keep an eye on too, right? Is when you get a guy early like that who's respected, he's the Peach Jam MVP. Everybody's been playing against him. Everybody knows who JJ Andrews is. And he's committed. And then you start seeing him posting on socials like Big Arafan right away. Like, hey, you know the move, man. Come on to Arkansas, baby. So monitor him as well. Sometimes you can get ideas for who's being really prioritized by who the current commits are all over there. See what Darius Acuff has to say about it. I haven't checked his socials yet. Where's he at with that? So this is interesting stuff. I love it. Have no idea how this thing is going to shake out, but what I can say confidently is Arkansas is going to wind up with 3 or 4 really, really high quality, high caliber freshmen to add into the mix for whatever they wind up returning next year. And then, they'll go and fill the gaps with really good players out of the portal. That's just what they do when it comes to building the roster. So fun stuff. I'm out of here. Appreciate you guys for tuning in, tapping in as always. This has been a lot of fun. Shout out to our sponsors. As you can see, we got some new ones on board. We just got to go out to Freedom Boat Club today. Oh, it's really, really cool, man. It's humbling. It really is when you kind of think about it, and people trust us to be able to help them promote their business and spread the word out there. And that's exactly what we're trying to do. And it feels good when we're able to accomplish that. So going to get out of here. We will be back in the morning. You guys know the drill. We ride it down with the Pod at the Palace. Thank you guys. Subscribe where you need to get subscribed if you haven't done so already, or that's the YouTube channel. You can find the Pod at the Palace wherever you find your audio podcast, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, whatever, you name it. We're over there. We'll catch you in the morning. Y'all have a good one.